Well, hello people from the other side. I know what you're here for, a new video of nails with on nails. Yes, that's right. As you probably know by coming into this video, is there's going to be 3 nail arts in one video today. Yes, that's right. We're going to have 3, and they're all going to do with stamping. Of course, they're going to have to do something together because that makes sense. Even though they're all kind of done in a different way. One is just on a nice, simple background that is nice and white, which is from Nail Care not Nail Care Education. It is from Simply Nailogical Hollow Taco brand, because that one, you know what you probably know what I mean, and you've seen it plenty. If you're not new here, you've seen it plenty of times in my videos as the white background. And if you're one that doesn't buy expensive nail polish from many brands, even though she makes a lot of good ones that actually work a lot for anyone that wants really high quality for certain things, especially for hollow ones, because it's really hard to get hollow in regular, typical drugstores. But besides that, the white, in my opinion, I've had experience, not that I am a professional, it is the hardest polish to get without it streaking out of the wazoo, and even with a few coats, it's still streaky, it's still freaking annoying. Regardless, I know I'm ranting here, but I just thought I'd say that if there's anything you want to get from her, it is the white. The milky white is what she calls it. It somehow works better than most, even high-end brands, which I like. Like Sally Hansen and stuff. They're white, and I never call is terrible. Or there's a brand I use that's from the UK that you see in a lot of my videos. Their white doesn't work very well either. It leaves lines too much and all that stuff, and it still doesn't work well as a background, even if you're going to stamp on it. Unless maybe you cover it up with sparkles so something makes it look less. And it's not that my skill isn't there. I do have plenty of skill for putting on nail polish, but there's always skill I can learn, especially because I haven't learned fully from a nail tech place. But I have learned from Simply Nailogical, which I said earlier, which is not what I meant to say, but that's beside the point. Let me not confuse you with different names and all that. So I know you're here for the 3 nail arts in this one video for today that are all to do with stamping, which is one of my top things to do. Because no, I don't use the other things, which I think Simply Nailogical has used in the past, which is like another version of doing something with stamping, but you gotta wait for your nail polish to be 100% dry, and you can't reuse them over and over and over. So I've gotten to the thing where I love stamps, because I've used some of my stamps a quadrillion times, I would gotta say. And then I keep finding a few new ones to add to my collection. And I think that video is on my YouTube channel as well if you want to see when I got some new ones. And when I got my awesome nail holder, which is all holographic. Yes, it is holographic. Unlike the sparkle I use, which is holographic, but then not really. But it would be nice to get one that actually truly is. So I will at some point, and probably from Simply Nailogical. That's one of the few things I'd get from her. But no further ado, let's get into the video and enjoy these 3 nail arts in one. Well, speaking of the UK brand, here is my go-to base coat that seems to make my nails last a lot longer when I do these nail arts. And it is one, like I have said in plenty of my videos, where it will work by itself. Unlike other ones I've used. I used some generic one, and I tried to use it by itself just to give my nails some protection, and it chipped too fast. But now, yes, like I said, here's the Hollow Taco creamy white that I'm going to use for this first nail design here. And it's just going to be this with 2 coats and some stamping on top. So here we go. As I'm putting on the second coat here, I already put on my first coat of white, and as you can see, it looks pretty nice. Yes, white is still going to be kind of show lines and things somewhat, but it's pretty easy to get it good. And then what I wanted to do is I wanted to do a nice sparkle, so I'm using the Sally Hansen. Like I said, it's kind of a holographic, but then if you really think about it and you look at it in the right lighting, it's not fully, because it doesn't really truly do what it's supposed to. So it might be considered more of an iridescent. I don't know. But it kind of has that in between. But yeah. And then this is the black I'm going to use for all of my nail designs here today, because I always use a black, like I said I was going to use, and this is the one I've been using. And my first one is going to be with this cross from this nail plate here. Let's just get it on here. There we go. It's going on one of the middle ones. that I'm doing. And I think it kind of overlapped on the top there, as you're going to see in a minute. Yeah, see? But I thought I'd leave it anyway. And then, yes, of course, because I am gluing on a gem. And this is going to be a bow. One of my bows I've had for a good while that I think I got from eBay, that I recall, for like $2, $1, whatever it was. But here I'm going to put it just on one, kind of like the finger that's typically used as an accent nail, which is the ring finger on people's hands, you know. And then I'm going to use a different one on this other stamp, which is one of my Time Machine stamps. This one's more of like, I'm from the 80s gamer, whatever feel. I don't know what you call this plate, but it's one of my Time Machine plates. And I'm using that for the outer rim nails, just like this pinky here. And I'm just patting down that. And then this is the top coat I'm going to use for this nail design. It's from Simply Nailogical as well, which is our Halotaka brand. And you want to be careful putting it on too. You want to have a bead of white when you're doing a stamping. It's very strange because somehow the stamp is very thin. So this is going to be the case for all the ones that I am doing here today. Just like this black and white one with the crosses and the diamonds stamping. Now I'm getting to the next one. And of course, I'm putting on the same exact base coat as my previous nail. That nice one that you could use. And all that awesomeness here and everything. And then I'm going to use this as my base color. I'm only using a thin layer because I'm going to use a different color that kind of needs a background color because it doesn't work by itself fully because it's kind of see-through but then not at the same time. So I use this to neutralize the back because I don't always like to have my nail coming through it too much, especially the long part, even though these ones are kind of short nails for this one. And this is what I'm going to put it on top. And you'll probably see why you need to have a base for this slightly. And so it's like a sparkle kind of polish. Yeah, see, it's kind of has a sheaminess. And if it didn't have the background, you'd probably see the nail more. So that's why I did what I did before putting on the awesome stamps that I'm going to do for these nails here for today. It's pretty simple, just like the first one, but 2 coats of 2 different colors. So here is the stamp I'm going to use. This is one of my newer stamps I've had for a good while, but I'm finally using it. It's kind of lovey-dovey kind of one, and I use the XO one. I thought I'd try that because it seemed kind of nice. I'll try some of the other ones. Whoops! As you can see, my polish is a little thin in the brush, so I had to get some more, and finally, I now have enough to do it. Sometimes you just got to redo the stamp before you put it on because what sucks more than too thin of a stamp and you see almost nothing and it's broken. So there we go, and there we go, the XO of the XOs. And then for one of my other nails, I thought I'd do this kind of peeking out heart one with lines, which I'm doing for the accent nail and all of that awesomeness. So there it is. And then this is the top coat I'm using, once again, Halotaka top coat. But I have heard from someone that they did not like the smell. And yes, the smell of this is very, very unusual. And now, of course, I'm doing a bead to make sure I have a gap between the stamp and the polish so I don't smear it. Sometimes it varies, I don't know. But yeah. And here we go. I'm going to use this Halotaka. What I got from them is this really awesome gold. It actually took me a really, really long time, like I probably said in a previous video, to get a gold like this. It really was hard. I had one for a while that I got for a good cheap price, and then it finally ran out, and then finally it was like, okay, I'm going to get Simply Nailogicals because it's so hard to get a flaky gold polish. I don't know why. And as you can see, I did add a white line around it because it felt unfinished, and I thought, why not white? So there we go, and here is my next one. And as I said, this is where I got my idea. I want to look 100% like this. And no, it's not going to be two-toned color with the pink and the white. I mean black. And here we go. Once again, to be fab, putting on the clear once again. I recommend to always put it clear on base because then you will not have staining and whatnot, and it makes it last longer. And then this is the base color I'm going to use, putting this on first, and I am going to do a gradient just like you saw, but yes, I am not doing a clear. I'm not doing that one was done very professionally, and I think they gradiented it out with a brush in the middle there. I've seen it done on Nail Care Education, but I'm not going to attempt it, so I'm going to do it in an easier way for me that Simply Nailogical does it as well, or at least used to, with a little makeup sponge. So this is just putting it on so I have a base to work with. So just one thin layer. And then this, as I've been starting to use it now, finally, because when you're doing this, you're definitely going to very likely get nail polish on your skin. And getting this much nail polish on your skin is going to be very hard to clean off. It does flake off after a while, but it really doesn't look nice. So it's much better to use a latex saying let it dry nicely and fully, and then start dabbing on each layer to the next. And then, of course, putting on this nail as well, just because why not? This is a white one. I think Simply Nailogical has one that she's come out with, and I think it more of a dries clear, so you can actually tell it's dry. The only problem with this one is it doesn't clear dry, so you can't tell if it's wet or not because the color doesn't change. But this is the gradient I'm going to use, the blue. I'm still using the same color combination kind of as the picture. And I'm just dabbing it on. Yes, it's going to be a little too thin on the top. But what you just got to do is just make sure it dries slightly enough. And then put another thin layer on top. And then do it until you're kind of happy with the top. I didn't really mind how much it went down or up. And I didn't really mind if the other color bleeded into it. So then I'm just going to do this. And this one you don't have to be too careful with the brush, only slightly, because you don't really mind if it bleeds, because then it makes the gradient a lot better. And now, finally, getting into the stamp, which is just going to go in the 2 middle nails, and it's going to be this flower, because it kind of felt like it had a similar-ish vibe, somewhat, to what the people on Instagram did it. So this is what I thought I'd do, and yes, I'm doing the middle just like they did, with a different kind of stamp. And now it's time, as I now finished the nail design, to get this latex stuff off the nails. And I was heard that it's better to get it off and not take too long until it dries, because then it will might take some of the nail polish off and be not as easy to take off because the polish is so dry. But it came off pretty well. It's still a little tricky to take off. I probably should be using tweezers to get it off. But then here we go with some sparkle that kind of looks hollow, but then in some lighting it doesn't. So I don't know what to call this thing. But I did this for the 2 on the outside because I didn't have a stamp, and I don't usually typically want to put sparkle on top of a stamp. Sometimes I do if it just feels kind of something's missing and whatnot. But then in this one, I'm using a different top coat for this one because I just got this one not too long ago compared to the one I used for the last 2. So I am using one from the same brand as most of these polishes, which is the UK brand of polish. And I'm being very careful to make sure I don't smudge it. Sometimes you can't stop it from happening if you've maybe done something wrong. I don't know. Didn't wait long enough to dry. As we now have done those artsy, nice stamp nails for you, as you saw the 3 for today. Don't know about you, but I enjoyed making those nails. The different times and all that awesomeness. I'm glad I could make you a video here, because sometimes you just get those videos where I will show you more nail arts than just one. Typically I just do one in each video, but sometimes I say, why not? I got these videos, and why not put them together, because they would make an awesome video, like I do with some of my thumb ones. We'll see if I make another one of those. I did do one, last year sometime, but I did 4 or 3 different nail arts only on my thumbs, like thumbnails, right? Yep, and that's right. Well, I hope you enjoyed that, and if you've got any ideas from it, or maybe you'd like something to see, like I always like to ask, then please comment down below, because I'd love to know if you have any ideas, and then I'll see if I can do my version of what you want to see, maybe a specific color you've been wanting to see done, and if I have that color, I'll do it. Or maybe down the line I'll get that color if I don't have it. I have done a lot of nail arts with lots of different colors. And I think there's going to be a nail art at some point where I made my own color out of 2 colors. So it slightly looks different. The 2 colors I did pick in that one are very similar, but slightly different. So it made a slightly different color, as you'll see when I mix it in that video when it comes up sometime. Of course, it wasn't in this one because it's going to be its own little video somewhat, mixing the 2 colors to make my own kind of unique. But I don't need to blab about that, as you were here for the stamping nail art today. So, I hope you enjoyed that. Please give this video a thumbs up, and if you're new, subscribe so you can know when I make new videos, because I don't always make them on the same day, but I usually do at least 1 video a week. Sometimes I don't, but sue me, I try my best, and at least I'm here to have fun and make videos just because I want to. And I thank you all for coming. Till next time, sparkle, sparkle, bam!